Alright, my little math friends, here we are on the last part of Chapter 6. We are on 6.4. We're going to be working those two-step equations like we did in 6.3, but this time we're going to use a real-world problem. We're going to build a two-step equation, and then we're going to go ahead and solve it. Alright? You guys are going to be so good at writing and solving these algebra equations. By the time we are done with Chapter 6, it is going to be impressive to see where you are at the end of Chapter 6 compared to what you could do at the beginning of Chapter 6. You guys are gaining some serious skills here, okay? When looking at these real-world problems, like I've talked about before, when setting these up, you want to look for a start number, a finish number, or something that we know for sure. Okay, know for sure. That's what we're looking for, because either any one of these is something we are going to use when we start setting up our equation, because that is going to be the end of the equal sign. That is going to be our target number that we're trying to get to. Okay, so it's good to keep that in mind when we're going through these problems to see if you can identify one of these three, because that is what we're going to be using. It's mostly going to be the finish or something that we know for sure, alright, when we're setting these up, okay? So let's take a look at this first problem and we will see how we're going to go about doing this. Okay, step number one, we're going to read through the problem. Remember, you want to kind of get a picture in your mind of what's happening when you do this. A publisher ships a package of X number of books, so they're already telling us the variable here, okay? X number of books, this is our mystery number. We don't know what that number is yet, but we're going to find out what it is, okay? So a certain number of books, and each book weighs 5 pounds. He ships another package of books that weighs 50 pounds total. Alright? The weight of both packages is 120 pounds. How many books were shipped in the first package? Okay, that's what we're focusing on, is how many books were shipped in the first package. We want to underline our question or task. This time we have a question. We want to know how many books were shipped in the first package. We don't care about the second package, just that first box. Alright, identify your facts. Go through here and get all the numbers that we need. Alright, so we know that in the first package, each book weighs 5 pounds. We know that the second package, the whole entire package of books, weighs 50 pounds. And we know the weight of both the packages altogether is 120 pounds. Alright, now we want to name the variable. Look to the question, how many books were shipped in the first package? Okay, so B. Oh, actually, we don't need to name the variable. They gave it to us right there. They're telling us X is the number of books. They did that for us. Thank you, math problem. Alright, let's go on to step number 5. Now we're going to build our algebra problem. This is where we need a number here on the end of the equal sign, which is going to be our number we're trying to target, trying to get to. So in this case, it's going to be our finish number, because we know that the weight of both packages is 120 pounds, okay? So this is what we are trying to get to, is 120 pounds. So we're just going to build our algebra equation so that it will equal 120 pounds. So let's see what we got here. We know that in the first package, each book weighs 5 pounds, but we don't know how many books there are. So each is our clue that we're going to multiply, because it's 5 pounds times each book that we have. So we're going to set it up like that. So we're going to say, to get to 120 pounds, it's going to be 5 pounds times the number of books we have in package 1. Okay, so this is like package 1. Then we're also going to add the weight of package 2. Package 2. Both of these together equals 120 pounds, which is our total. Alright, there's our algebra equation. Now we're just going to go through here and start to solve it, just like we did in 6.3, solving these equations. Target this number first, do the opposite. We have to go minus 50 over here. Draw your line, cancel those out, drop down what we have left. We have 5x equals 120 minus 50 is going to get... Actually, this is one. Where did I get 120 from? This is... Alright, sorry guys, I got a little confused there because we actually worked this same exact problem out in 6.3, so it was kind of messing with my brain here a little bit. So that would be 120 minus 50 is going to get me 70. Now I just need to go ahead and take care of this 5 times x, do the opposite, divide by 5, divide this side by 5. We are left with x equals 14. Alright, 70 divided by 5 is 14. We did this one in video 6.3. That's how many books that we have left is 14 books. We can check our answer. Alright, you can put 14 in here for x. 5 times 14 is 70, plus 50 gets you 120. So we know we got that answer correct. Alright, let's take a look at another example that we have here. Alright, there's the page I'm looking for. Okay, our next example. Let's go through the steps here. We're going to read through the problem, try and get a picture of what is going on. Billy has a gift card with a balance of $150. Okay, so picture that. He buys several video games that cost $35 each. After purchasing the video games, he has a $45 balance left on his card. How many video games did he purchase? That's what we're trying to find out, is how many games did he actually buy. Alright, underline the question or the task. This time we have a question. How many video games did he purchase? That is our goal. To find out, let's go ahead and identify the facts, the numbers that we need in here. We know that Billy started with 150 balance. Okay, so there's our start like I was talking about earlier. We know that each game costs $35 each. Okay, so that's $35 per game. After he got done purchasing all these games, he has $45 left on his card. Okay, so that is going to be our finish. We have our start, he bought some games, and then we have our finish. Alright, let's go ahead and name the variable. Remember, look to the question. It's going to tell you we want to know how many video games that we are trying that he bought. Alright, let's use G for games. Okay, that's what we're trying to find out, how many games he bought. Now we just need to go ahead and build our algebra problem. Okay, this time we have a start and we have a finish, so we're going to set it up like this. Here's our equal sign. We're going to put our start over here on this side and our finish over here on this side, and we finished with a $45 balance. Okay, now we just need to set up our algebra problem to equal $45. Okay, so let's set that up. We started with 150. Okay, so he had $150, and then he spent some money, right? Which means that money is going to be taken away from 150 to get down to 45. So I'm going to be subtracting the video games that he bought, and the video games cost $35 each. Okay, so that's going to be multiplying, because we're going to go $35 times the number of games he bought. Okay, so it's going to be 35 times the number of games. The games are going to be G, and that equals the $45 balance he has left on his card. Alright, we have a very nice algebra problem set up right here. Let's go ahead and solve this, and we will see what we get. Alright, so the number we want to target first is the one that's kind of hanging out here by itself, this 150. So we need to do the opposite of 150. We need to cancel off 150. So how do we cancel it off if it's a positive 150? Well, we subtract 150, and that'll make that number cancel out and equal 0, which is what we want. Alright, so I'm going to take 150 away from this side, draw my line across here, bring down what I have left. I have minus 35G equals, and then 45 minus 150 is going to get me 105 negative. Alright, so this is what I'm left with. Okay, minus 35G, which is the same as negative 35G. Okay, so that's the same as negative 35G. So this is negative 35 times G. I need to do the opposite. I'm going to divide by negative 35, cancel. Divide this side by negative 35. Alright, let me back up for just a second. I said this is minus 35g, and it's the same as negative 35g, okay? The reason why it's the same is this 150 no longer exists over here, so we have nothing to subtract it from. So then now it becomes a negative since there's nothing over here to subtract. Okay, our minus switched over to a negative since we have nothing over here. Okay, that's the reason that took place. Just wanted to clarify that up for you a little bit. Let's get back to some math here. Negative 105 divided by negative 35. When we do the math on that, that is going to get us 3. So G, the number of games that he bought, and it's a positive 3 because they're both negative, is 3 games. All right. Now let's go through here and check our answer. We could do that if we want. We could put 3 in here for this. So we could go 150 minus 35 times 3, which would be 105. 150 minus 105 is going to get me 45, okay, which is exactly what we want. All right? Let's take a look at one more example here, and then I have a try this problem for you. All right. A group of adults, we're going to read through, can't forget my steps here. Here we go, reading through, getting a picture in our mind. A group of adults plus one child watch a movie at a theater. The tickets cost $9 for each adult and $6 for children. The total cost of the movie is $78. How many adults were there in the group? All right. So we have some adults and a kid going to the movie. Underline the question. This is what we're trying to find out. How many adults were there in the group? Identify your math facts. Alright, so we know that a group of adults and one child go to watch a movie. We have a number there. It's one child. We know the tickets are $9 for each adult and $6 for children. And the total cost of the movie is $78. Alright, now we just need to go to step number 4. We're going to name our variable. Remember, the question is going to tell you what the variable is. That's one good thing that helps us out. We're trying to find out how many adults were in the group. So let's use A for the number of adults. That'll be our variable. Okay, we are ready to build this algebra problem. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. So go through this problem here, look at your math facts. We want to try and find the finish, the ending number, which is going to be the $78 because that's how much they spent. So when we set this up, we have our equal sign. We are trying to get to $78 over here. So the algebra problem we set up needs to equal $78. Alright, that's what we're trying to do. Okay, so we don't know how many adults there were at the movie, so that's what we're trying to find. We know the adult tickets cost $9 each, so that's going to be $9 times the number of adults. So I'm going to go $9 times the number of adults, which is A, plus, we already know that there was one kid that went to the movie. We're given that information, so that had to be $6. So it's $9 times the number of adults plus $6 equals $78 total. Alright, now we just need to go through and start solving this problem. We're going to target the 6 first. Get my solve step on down here. Alright, minus 6, cancel. Minus 6 over here. Draw your line across. Bring down your 9 in your A. And then we have 78 minus 6 is going to get me 72. Now we just need to do the last step, which is 9 times A, so we're going to do the opposite. Divide by 9, cancel, divide by 9, and we're left with A equals 8. Alright? Now, something that's probably going on in your guys' brains right now is when you're starting to solve these equations, your mind is starting to work faster than what your hand can write. You probably got to this step and you already thought, oh, I need to divide 72 by 9, and you probably already knew that that was going to be 8 even before you wrote that down. Alright? That means that you guys are gaining some skills some algebra skills, because you are already, your mind knows what to do before your hand can even catch up to your writing. All right, I bet that's what you guys are thinking out there as you are watching that. All right, I hope that's the case. Probably you're like, wow, how does Mr. Peterson know what's going on in my head? Well, guys, I've been doing this for a while. I know how you guys learn math, and it's exciting to see that happen. So, as you guys get better and better, your mind is going to be working faster than what you can write this down. That is a good thing. All right, I have a try this problem for you. Try this one, see what you guys come up with, set this one up, and then we will see what you guys get for an answer.